Okay.
I will call this meeting to order at 6:32 p.m. And Councilmember Lau, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure thing. If you'll stand and put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call, Mr. Russi.
Yes. Second, wrong page. Councilmember Davis.
Present.
Councilmember Crosby.
Present.
Councilmember Lau.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Carter.
Present.
Mayor Hepburn.
Present.
Okay.
We're going to go on to presentations. Item 4, Mr. Russi.
Yeah, Maya's going to give you a little bit of an overview, but you have on your agenda tonight the approval of your annual homeless report. We thought it'd be an appropriate time to give you kind of awareness of some of the programs that are being offered in connection with some of our other service providers in the area. So with that, I'll have Maya do an introduction, and then you'll have a presentation by Union Station and by Tri-City Mental Health.
So as I'm sure Council is aware, we adopted a homeless plan in 2018, and that homeless plan identified different strategies and action items to address and prevent homelessness here in the city of Laverne. So we've been working on fulfilling and achieving those strategic goals and action items over the course of the past few years. We've been lucky enough to apply for and also be awarded several different grants. Majority of the grant funding came from the County of Los Angeles through their 2018 Cities Homeless Implementation Grant Awards. And so with those grant awards, we were able to bring on new services and programming to address homelessness within our city through hiring both Tri-City Mental Health Services or Center, and Union Station Homeless Services. So I'm just gonna have Tri-City and Union Station kind of give a brief overview of some of the new services and programming that are being made available here in the city and to our residents as a result of the new grant opportunities that we've been awarded and kind of what those services look like on a day-to-day basis here in the city. So with that, I'll hand it over to Isela from Tri-City Mental Health Center.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I will go ahead and start talking about the navigators. Maya, are you gonna put my PowerPoint? It's a really short PowerPoint. Okay, so the Community Navigator Program, some of you may be familiar with it. Like Maya mentioned, navigators have been available for the past 11 years. We're available to provide linkage and referrals to different resources within the community. So I'm going to quickly introduce you to my staff. Maya, can you change to the next? So this is Gabby and Ernie. They mainly focus on the linkage and referral to the different resources. However, we're all cross-trained, so when somebody's not available, another navigator is able to assist. My staff is also all bilingual, English and Spanish, and I will be introducing you to the Measure H navigators, where we also have an individual who speaks Vietnamese there as well. So this is my Measure H community navigators, and this is what I'm going to be focusing on a little bit more, because these individuals were hired through the Measure H grant, and they focused on assisting individuals and families who are experiencing homelessness or who are at risk of becoming homeless. We have Richard Frankel, he's one of the navigators for Claremont. We have Sonia Reina and Bruce, who are in Pomona. And then I highlighted Irene Ceguera, which is the second picture that's highlighted. And she is the community navigator for the city of Laverne. She's there full time. Whenever individuals come in and need assistance, she's there to help. Again, all my staff is cross-trained. Today, Irene couldn't be here today, so she already had requested vacation ahead of time. So that's why I'm presenting to you all. But for instance, we had an incident today where there was a couple who was homeless and needed assistance. So Richard was able to step in and go to City Hall to assist this couple. So with that, you can go to the next slide, Maya. So with the Measure H funding, besides being able to hire 4 additional community navigators, We have some additional funding that we also utilize in order to assist the families and individuals. So with the homeless prevention services, we have rental assistance. That's probably been one of the, at least in the city of Laverne, because the three cities are very different, but at least in the city of Laverne, I feel like the rental assistant has been used the most through the Measure H funds from the city of Laverne. So a lot of the times individuals will contact us because they need some assistance with their rent in order to prevent homelessness. Irene is able to assist with those funds. In addition, she will also provide case management to make sure that either that individual or that family is able to maintain their housing. We also have move-in assistance available. If anybody finds a place that is experiencing homelessness, we can help with the move-in assistance if needed. We have assistance with utility bills as well, and even some furniture depending on what the need is. Like we usually are able to assist with either a refrigerator or a stove, especially if it's needed to pass inspection when we are assisting families or individuals to move into their own to permanent housing. Again, like I mentioned, we provide case management to these individuals and additional resources and support. So that's through our homeless prevention services. Then we also have our homeless services, where we do outreach and engagement. So Irene in Union Station, at least once a week, they go out and they outreach to the individuals experiencing homelessness in the city of Laverne. They provide lunches to them, they talk to them, and hopefully try to engage them into services. We also work closely with our intensive outreach and engagement team. So if we see that some of these individuals are also experiencing some mental illness, we have the outreach and engagement team also assist to engage these individuals into services. We also have a shelter available. So we work with the Hope for Home Service Center in Pomona. Through the Measure H funding, we have 6 beds that are available, 2 for Laverne, 2 for Pomona, and 2 for Claremont. So if we do have an individual who wants to go into a shelter right away, we have those beds available. We also have short-term multi-vouchers for families. So if obviously the service center, that's for single individuals 18 and up, but then we have those families that have little children. So then we are able to utilize our short-term motel vouchers, and we work closely with 2 different motels in Claremont where we are able to put our families while we either connect them with resources or other services in the community. And then we use the HMIS coordinated entry system. So when we're working with individuals, we put them in the system. Some of you may have heard of Project Room Key. We utilize the system in order to refer many of the individuals we assisted in helping them get into Project Room Key as well. And again, we do case management with the families. We provide case management with the families and individuals to make sure that we are connecting them to services or a program that will be able to continue assisting them. And again, resources and support. So these are the different, this is additional funding besides hiring the four navigators. This is some additional resources that we have within the community navigator team as well. And that's, Maya, you want to go to the next question, to the next slide? I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. The best way to contact a community navigator is through the 888 number. It's a toll-free number. Anyone can contact the community navigator, even if it's just for linkage and referral. It doesn't necessarily have to be for homeless services. We are available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 p.m. However, we are available after hours if needed. We work closely with the Laverne Police Department and their host team. So a lot of the times after hours, they will call us if they need assistance in getting an individual into the Hope for Home Service Center, or if they just need assistance with the family and getting them into the shelter. So we do have one community navigator that's on call. We rotate the on-call phone, and so there's always a community navigator that will be on call and available if needed.
Any questions from council?
Oh, great job.
Thank you very much. You're doing a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So now we'll have Union Station Homeless Services present. I believe Raji will be presenting for that one. So JR, if you could bring up the slides.
Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you for having us. My name is Raji Shivshankar. I'm the Director of Outreach and Access with Union Station Homeless Services, and I'm joined by my colleague, Nicole Flores. She's the Three Cities Program Manager. And as soon as the slides come up, we can get started.
Sorry about that. Just a technical difficulty on our end. It'll be up in just a minute.
That never happens.
Of course, during the rehearsal, this all worked perfectly. So.
Of course. Or you have a 9-month-old dog that's digging up the backyard, and you have to stop for a second and listen to everything while the dog gets out there and save the dog from digging up the backyard. So this is Zooming.
2020, right?
Oh, I'll tell you, boy, this is a year we'll never forget. Raji, thanks for coming on. We do appreciate it. You guys do
Thank you for having us.
You do an extremely good job. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Oh, we're ready.
Aww.
Okay, so we can go to the next slide. So just an overview of Union Station Homeless Services. We are the CES lead agency in SPA 3. Our mission is to prevent and end homelessness by focusing on permanent solutions in housing, supportive services, employment, and community engagement. I think you might need to press the next. I don't know if, yes. These are just our values. So this informs all of our services and what you can expect from our staff in the field. And we can go on to the next slide, please. So this is a map of SPA 3. We work in a lot of cities, and we have a variety of different services. So I just wanted to share this with you all this evening. You'll notice in East, oh no, maybe this, I think we had revised this. So actually in Laverne, we do have CES, we have outreach, rapid rehousing, prevention and diversion in our multidisciplinary outreach team. So we will actually send you we're going to revise this slide to include all of that for Laverne and the other two cities, San Dimas and Glendora. Next slide, please. So the core pillars of our services are outreach, shelter and bridge housing, permanent housing, and other permanent housing, permanent supportive housing, and then other housing interventions like rapid rehousing, as well as employment and community integration. So we practice a trauma-informed harm reduction, housing first philosophy. So while these are our concrete programs and services that we offer, all of our programs happen under these philosophies. We just have a few minutes tonight, but if the City of Laverne is interested in having a more in-depth presentation on our philosophies and how this translates into our services, please feel free to contact me and let me know. Okay, we can go on to the next slide, please. And I'll let Nicole, as our Three Cities Program Manager, talk about the specific services that we have in Laverne.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole. So yes, as Raji mentioned, I'm going to just go over our programs very briefly. To start, we have our coordinated entry system and family coordinated entry system, which is also known as our CES program, which pretty much just streamlines the process of finding housing for individuals and families who are currently experiencing homelessness or who are on the verge of experiencing homelessness. Then we have our multidisciplinary outreach team, also known as our MDT teams. And these teams consist of care coordinators, nurses, substance abuse counselors, mental health clinicians, as well as our peer advocates who are actually individuals who have experienced homelessness sometime in the past. And then we have our 3 cities housing navigation team, which I'm a part of, and that consists of my coworker, Buddy, and we also have a MSW intern who's joined our team temporarily. So we are funded by the LA County CEO's Homeless Initiative to provide services to individuals and families experiencing homelessness throughout the city of Laverne, in addition to our 2 other cities, which are Glendora and San Dimas. We have our prevention, diversion, and rapid rehousing programs, which are funded by the SGV COG, and these programs offer a range of interventions designed to address the needs of our residents in the city of Laverne. Next slide, please. And then sorry, I think it's moving. Yeah, this might be a little weird. Okay, there we go. So the total of individuals that we have outreached in Laverne is 19. However, I know that the PIT count prior to the pandemic was 10. So we believe that, due to the pandemic, that number has pretty much doubled. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, people have lost their jobs. So loss of employment means a loss of income, which results in not being able to pay for housing, which sadly, results in homelessness. So altogether, with the 3 cities combined, again, Laverne, San Dimas, and Glendora, we have actually served 160 individuals. And then I don't know if anybody has any questions for Raji or myself.
And we can send you all a picture of the full team, so if you see them out there, you know who they are. You can always submit outreach requests through LA Hop or contact myself or Nicole if there's anything that you see in your community that you would like to be addressed, or if you have questions about any of our programs, or you think someone might be a good fit.
Do we have any questions for Raji or her team at this point?
Yeah, this is
David.
Mir. So is this a separate number that we would call to get in touch with Union Station, or would that end up going through our local navigator out to Union Station? I guess the question, do you cooperate with Tri-City, or how does that work?
Are you referring to the number that Tri-City has? Are you asking if we're both connected through that?
Well, I guess what I'm asking is if we have a resident who's at risk, do they call one number and get help, or do they have to call a couple numbers?
So I think, Inesella, correct me if I'm wrong.
I can answer that. You can go through the 888 number for the city of Laverne, and Irene works closely with Nicole. Okay. Right, Nicole, they work closely together. So whatever we can pick up on our program, we do, and whatever Nicole can assist with their program, they will do it. They outreach together every week. So if it's easier to dial the 888 number, then that's fine. Like I said, they work very closely together.
So our residents just need to go to one person, Irene, and then she'll make sure that everybody's in the loop and figure out how best to manage the situation.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa, if anyone, if you want to submit a request online, I can share that information with Maya, and she can share it out with you all. And same thing, Nicole will communicate with Irene, and we'll make sure that someone is responding.
And I would just add, Mir, you guys can also always contact the Community Services Department or the Community Development Department. Me in particular, I have weekly meetings with Union Station staff, and Irene is located here at City Hall. Her office is in the Community Services Department. So if anyone is unsure, kind of as Isela said and Raji said, you can call either the Union Station number or the Tri-Cities number. Either of the teams can help you, but if they're not unsure, they can always contact someone here at City Hall, and we can direct them to the appropriate contact person.
Great. The important message is for our community to know that there's help out there, that going through being at risk for homelessness isn't something to do by yourself. Reach out and ask for help. So thank you all.
Yeah, and I think another important point to make mention is that the police department is also connected in with both of these services. So if there's a contact that's made through our host team or just through General Patrol, they are aware and can make direct contact and have these contact numbers to use. So
great.
Councilmember Carter?
I'm hoping to encourage our residents to take action before we need to involve the police. But yes, they're also there to help. Thank you.
Councilmember
And we've
Carter.
even, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
We've
sorry.
even met with some of like the local businesses as well to let them know who we are. So if they do have individuals experiencing homelessness hanging around their businesses, they know who to contact so that we can go out there and assist.
Yes, my question was, are we going to be able to have these PowerPoints that were presented both by Tri-City and Union Station on our webpage, or get a copy ourselves? Is that going to be on there, Bob?
we can certainly make it available.
I think that's very
available
important.
through this YouTube that will be up there, but we can make them presented separately if that would be helpful.
I think that would be.
Of course.
Thank you. Any other questions for everyone here? Councilmember Crosby or Councilmember Lau?
No, just thank you for the information. It's really good information.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I really appreciate that. Isela, Nicole, Raji, and Irene. What you guys do, and also I'd be remiss also with Associate Planner McCurley. You guys do a fantastic job. Without you, this has come a long way, and thank goodness also for the San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments. I'll give them the kudos for being able to put this together with all the different cities to able to fund this, but also to help the unfortunate. So you guys are doing a great job, and our police department also working closely with them. Also, I would call it the delicate hands out there that swoop these people and pick them up and put them in a safer living environment. And thank you all for doing that. Any other questions for anybody? Well, thank you all. I really appreciate your help, and please send those pictures because we want to see, and when we see people that we know, and say hi and introduce ourselves. So thank you very much.
We will update the presentation and make sure it gets out there with the corrected slides. So thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Bye. Thank you.
We will move to item 5, announcements of upcoming community events. Mr. Russi, you wanted to, yes?
Well, let's see if there's anything that's come through.
Through the public comment. Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
And nothing received as of right now.
Okay. Then we'll move to announcements of upcoming community events. Mr. Russi?
Yeah, I'll take this moment, thank you, Mr. Mayor, to just share with you some of the COVID compliant activities that we have for the fall season. The first, I think, to point out is we've got restaurant week that the Chamber is putting on. That is October 21st through the 25th. I think that was mentioned last week by Leah, but you can contact the Chamber for more information on that. But in addition to that, as we have this unique holiday season, we are shifting a lot of our activities and still trying to be celebratory of the holidays. So one of the things we're doing, or two things we're doing, is we've got a Halloween costume contest as well as a Halloween home decorating contest that both can be submitted up to October 27th with your entry, and then there will be competitions and judging that will go with that. And one of the hashtags is Laverne Costume Contest. The other is hashtag Laverne Home Contest. So you can go on to those two social media locations to put that up, and don't ask me what that involves because I don't know any more than that as far as that goes. The other thing we have is the Heritage Foundation is hosting their Harvest Farmers Market, and I know several council members went this last weekend, but they also have that event going this weekend, and that'll be from 10 to 5:30. So if you still want to go and enjoy some of the traditional fall festival, you can still enjoy that this weekend up at the Heritage Park. One additional thing that we have going on is on Friday, October 30th, we will be doing a drive-in movie at Fairplex. and the movie will be Coco, and that is being sponsored by the Community Services Department as well as the Police Officers Association. We still have tickets available for that, and tickets are $15, and you can register at per vehicle at the Community Services Department online or in person. So those are just a couple things we have going on between now and the end of the month. Hope everybody can join us for one or all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russi. Councilman Ricardo, do you want to comment on the pumpkin also?
Yeah, Bob announced that the Pumpkin Patch and Harvest Festival, the Heritage Foundation just had it this past weekend. They're going to be having it next weekend, October 24th and 25th, 10 to 5:30, as Bob said, and mask and social distancing is required.
Well, also on that, every year they have this, and previously they've got some great jams and some gifts. I bought a whole bunch of jams, and they're excellent. And there's also some other stuff they have, and they're really tickled to be out there. I'm really glad that we were able to do this year. They were just voicing their happiness, the fact that they could have it, and it was well put on. Everybody was very happy to be there. Lots of young families, so it went really well. So please, if you get a chance, stop by. They're just a lot of good things to purchase, and pumpkins and everything else. So.
And Tim, you were there also.
Yep.
And did you see all the animals they had for kids?
Yes.
So kids would enjoy seeing the giant white turkey and all the different chickens and animals out there. So that's another draw for families to come out and see this.
Yeah, they couldn't do the rides and stuff because obviously with COVID, but they have all the equipment out there that the kids can climb around on. So they were tickled about that. So I think everybody should get a chance to get out there with their young kids. They love it. So anyway, nothing else. We'll move on to consent calendar. Do we have any items pulled for the consent calendar, Mr. Russi? Okay, then I guess I would call for a motion for the consent calendar.
I'll make the motion to adopt the consent calendar.
Second.
Second, Mr. Davis. All those in favor, raise your hand. Aye.
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 Those opposed, none. Motion carries. We will move on to item 7, other matters.
Yes, Chief Paz, we have ordinance 1097, and Chief Paz will be giving you the staff report on that, and there he is. So, good evening, Chief.
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Real good. Good evening, Mr. Paz.
Good. So not only has this year been a year of COVID, but it's been a year of demonstrations all over the place. As you know, we had 2 over the weekend here. Fortunately, they were very quiet. However, in recent training that staff has attended, we were given some information from agencies such as the FBI, the LAPD, and the Sheriff's Department in trying to gear up for, possibly more demonstrations that will occur in the future. One of the things that they brought up was the suggestion that cities enact an ordinance that would allow the police department to regulate certain items that could not be brought into demonstrations, and the end result being that it would provide a safer environment for individuals who wish to practice their First Amendment rights in these demonstrations. So we are asking that Title IX of the Laverne ordinance be amended and a ordinance be included that would allow us to regulate certain items that could be used as weapons in these demonstrations. A lot of the cities, today I was on a meeting with the LA County chiefs, a lot of the cities are in the process of either enacting one or already have one. So we just want to do the same thing. Any
Very
questions
good.
from anybody?
Any questions for Chief Paz, or should we move to public comment on this first and then come back to council? Do we have any?
I can ask a question while people are calling in.
Sure.
Should there be any public comments?
Councilmember
For
Davis,
it?
go ahead.
But Chief, just to understand, this ordinance is for the spectators as well as participants of a demonstration, right?
Anybody that's involved in the demonstration that takes part in it, yes.
And or spectating. So if you're walking by houses and things like that, people, if they're out on their yard, would also be subject to this ordinance. And isn't that right?
I think the way it's written, it is. So, yes.
If they were in their private yard, I wouldn't think they would.
Not if they're in their private yard, but if they're, outside.
If they're on the sidewalk watching.
Yeah, if they're on the sidewalk, public right away, that they would.
Great. Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, nothing has been received so far.
Okay, we have any other questions for Chief Paz regarding this matter? I see no hands. I'll make a comment. I really, after reading.
Comments or questions?
Mr.
I'm
Crosby,
sorry.
go ahead.
I thought you said questions. I don't have questions. I have comments though. I believe in peaceful demonstrations. I really do. And I believe that we all have our First Amendment right to demonstrate. I also believe that we need to keep our residents and citizens safe, and those include our police officers. So I fully back this ordinance so that we keep everybody around, and peaceful demonstrations are part of American life, and we need to keep it that way, peaceful.
Thank you, Councilmember Crosby. Any other comments or questions for Chief Paz?
I was going to just share the similar comment to Councilmember Crosby, saying that is, it's important that we keep everyone involved and engaged and actively spectating in demonstrations safe and protected. So I think it's an important ordinance to enact.
Thank you, Councilmember Davis. I will say also that the most important thing is keeping our officers safe, but also keeping the officers keep safe and our residents keep safe. And I think that this is a very good ordinance to make sure that happens as we are going into some interesting times. And as Chief Paz said, this is going to happen more often just to protect all of us. So with that, any more questions or comments for Chief Paz? Having none, do we have any other comments? Anybody who's called in on this to comment on it from the public? JR? Then I'm going to go ahead and close this. We'll go. I'd like a motion for this item. Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance number 1097, amending Title IX of the Laverne Municipal Code pertaining to the regulation of possession of certain items at public protests, demonstrations, picket lines, and public assemblies.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilmember Crosby. All those in favor, raise your hand. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Chief Paz.
Thank you.
Just a question for City Attorney, since Muir did such a good job in his motion, do I need to read it again?
Did we lose him?
He's on mute, so we can ignore him.
I couldn't hear you. Just nod, no, just shake your head. No, I don't.
No, you're fine.
Okay. All right. Couldn't hear you. Very good.
Fine.
Nice job, Attorney Muir Davis. Thank you very much.
Very thorough.
No, I'm an applied mathematician, not an attorney.
Okay, there you go. We'll leave that to Councilmember Lau. Okay. Then we move on that, and let's go to public comments and communications.
None received, sir.
None received. Well, we'll wait a second. Well, if we haven't received anybody now, we can always move on to council comments. So we'll close the public. Actually, we won't close it. We'll go to council comments, and we can go back to public comments if that's okay, Mr. Kress, or should we close it?
Probably. That's fine. Oh, Bob, you're having trouble with your mic, just so you know.
You're on delay or zero. He's not. It shows you that you can speak, but we're not hearing you. So.
Pay a lot of money to Spectrum to make this work.
You pay what I pay, and it's not. Well, never mind. I won't add my Spectrum.
To Zoom.
There are challenges all around.
I won't close public comment. I'll wait, and we can go to council comments. Should we start with council?
I would, Tim.
Yes.
Our agenda always is in order. That public comment before our comments. So
Well,
we can
no,
wait
but
a few minutes to see if
We can just wait a minute.
We can wait. We'll wait a minute. We'll wait a minute. Then we'll
Don't
close.
you have some good tunes, Tim? You could play a piece of music right now.
You mean Jeopardy?
No, I was hoping for something spicier than that.
Maybe Heart.
There you go.
Or Billy Idol, maybe?
I like that too.
I know you do. Alexa, Billy Idol. Oh, there you go. Sorry.
Everybody that's listening to Alexa just played Billy Idol for them.
It all popped up.
I just would like to know if they were all the same song then, or whether they.
They pick a mix.
Right.
I don't. We're not getting anybody in public comments, so I'm going to go ahead and close public comment, and we'll move to council comments. Councilmember Carter, would you like to start?
I would, thank you. I just wanted to wish families a wonderful next couple weeks. Kids are still excited for Halloween, so look around on websites and see all that's going on in our wonderful city here. But what I did want to talk about is there was an article last week in the paper about our Gold Line on Wheeler Avenue, which I do want to remind everybody, you're going to start hearing the L line for the Gold Line. It's going to be referred to from now on as the L line, okay? And I'm assuming that L is for light rail, but I have a Gold Line meeting tomorrow, so I'll find out what the L stands for.
Laverne.
Oh, you think? Oh, it is?
Laverne.
Oh, that makes sense.
We moved from Gold to Laverne. I like that. That's
Yeah,
fine.
makes sense. Good. Well, anyhow, it's still going to be closed until January 1st. And for any kind of detour route, they're recommending both northbound and southbound of San Dimas Canyon, which will be the main detour area. So I just want people to be reminded of that. And you'll obviously know it if you're heading down there for work or schooling or anything. But it's exciting, a lot of work being done, and it's moving along quite nicely. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Councilmember Carter. Councilmember Davis.
Sure. So had a meeting with the Pomona Valley Transportation Authority last week, and things are moving along so that the services are still available. COVID is providing some challenges in making sure there's ample resources to provide services, but services are generally no fee at the moment since we're in a COVID state. Also had a meeting with the Public Bank of Pomona Valley. If you want more information about the work that's going in that area, look to PBPV or Public Bank Pomona Valley, either on Facebook or the internet. We're working with the California Banking Alliance to help initiate an assembly bill for next session. Let's see. Oh, the thing I forgot to remember last meeting, I'll want to remember this meeting. It's beginning flu season, so it's time to get your flu shot. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Davis. Councilmember Lau.
Yes, I just wanted to wish everyone a happy Halloween. October is my favorite month, but I'm biased. I found out I share a birthday with Mayor Hepburn's son.
Yes, you do.
It's a great day to be alive. Great to be born. But I also wanted to remind folks that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Domestic Violence Awareness Month, two issues that I think are very important. I will share that, I have a good friend of mine who is my age, who a couple years back ended up having to have a double mastectomy and a hysterectomy after her sister passed away. She was calling the doctors to cancel all her sister's appointments and happened to talk to one of the doctors who had planned for genetic testing for her sister and said, "We're not canceling it. That was your sister. You come in and take the testing." It turned out she had the BRCA mutation. And so as a preventive measure, they said, you need to have a double mastectomy and a hysterectomy to make sure, because for you, it's not a question of if, but when you would get cancer. And so I think it's just really important to highlight that, women, you should be doing your monthly breast exams. Men, even though the occurrence of breast cancer is less in men, if you do have a family history, if you do have a female relative that it has the BRCA mutation, you are at a higher risk. So know your family history when you go to see your doctor, and make sure that you're doing those checkups, because like I said, for my friend, she had the surgeries, but she also has 2 young children who are my godchildren, who are now on a schedule for when they need to start getting tested to make sure that they stay healthy. And domestic violence as well, something to be really aware of. It happens to all people of all ages, all stages of life. Doesn't care about your ethnicity, doesn't care about your financial background, anything like that. So be aware of the signs. If you know someone, if you're in an abusive relationship, know that there is help out there. and that there are things that you can do to get yourself out of those situations, and that you have people who do care about you. So those are my 2 PSAs for this month, but happy Halloween and stay safe, everybody.
Thank you, Councilmember Lau. Councilmember Crosby.
Thank you, Mayor Hepburn, and thank you, Councilmember Lau. Yes, wear pink and support and go out and make sure you get tested. Really appreciate that from you. I just want to remember, we need to go vote. Make sure we're all going out and voting. You can vote today, put it in the Dropbox. We have a voting center that will be opening up on Wheeler at the Episcopal Church. And then we have a Dropbox at the library and
Oak Mesa.
Oak Mesa. Okay.
North of Oak Mesa, not at the school, but just north of Oak Mesa.
It's at the preschool or the off school. Yeah.
Make sure you vote. We have a school board election happening and something else happening in the nation. I don't know. A presidential election. So make sure you go out and vote, please. Last council meeting, we had a resident talk about districting for Laverne. Although I'm not opposed to it, I feel that we need to actually get some more information and information from our demographers. But with our new census data, census just ended, and I know I'm going through districting in my school district as right now in my job. We have to wait for the new census information to get that going. So it's not going to be happening right away, but I want to move forward. But we have to also ask ourselves some questions too. If we do move to districts, do we have 4 districts and an at-large mayor, or do we go to 5 districts and have a rotating mayor? So those are information and questions we need to get answered and discussed in future meetings for this. And I just want to make sure and bring light that it did come from resident, and we do need to look at that. I think it's important to look at, but we have a lot of different questions we have to ask before we even get to that point in that step. So everyone have a safe Halloween, and be safe out there trick-or-treating.
Thank you, Councilmember Crosby. And thank you all for your comments. Every one of them is especially with the Cancer Week and also with all the elections going on, it's be engaged, help those, especially as Councilmember Lau with the domestic violence and the issues with people being at home and kids being at home. It's really serious issue. Look out, check out, reach out to everyone that you know, just to check on them. A friendly call, just a hi or an email, or check on your friends and family, because this is some really trying times, especially as we're going through the holidays too. The San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments, which I'm part of, we had elections last month, and Margaret Clark from Rosemead is now the president, the president. Becky Shevlin is the first president. I was elected as the second VP, and then Ed Reese from Claremont is the third VP. So it's a great group of people. We also formed a legislative committee to work with staff on the COG to kind of spearhead what's going on in legislation and bills coming down that we're kind of involved to push towards the Council of Governments to get to the cities to help us protect our rights as cities and what goes forward to make sure we're aware of what's happening. So I'll bring more information on that as we come forward. I was asked to speak and be a part of the demonstration this weekend for the Armenian March. As everybody knows, the Armenians are having major issues right now. I just want to make sure that we all keep our Armenian brothers and sisters in our prayers. Also to the fact that their religious rights and their democracy is being threatened. And if they threaten that, they threaten all. And I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. Reach out to your Armenian brothers and sisters. They've got family over there that's a major issue going on. I think reach out to our local elected officials, our state elected officials, to see what we can do to help them to protect that little teeny country out there that's going through some major issues right now. So, and with that, again, this week, make sure that we shop Laverne. we eat in Laverne. I've been doing that lately, and I'll tell you what, it's been unbelievable. The restaurants are doing really well between the Foothill Corridor and the downtown business district. Everybody seems to be having a great time. Thanks for the city and staff. Things are going very well. And just keep your dollars in Laverne. Gas up, fill up, go to the grocery store, go to the clothing stores. And shop online, but shop online, make sure the taxes come back to here. Anyway, anybody else have any more comments? If not, then I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 7:17 p.m. Everybody, happy Halloween. Yes, Mr. Russi.
No. I was just.
You're just saying thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. And please, everybody, be safe out there. One last comment. Thank you, Chief Paz. The demonstrations that went on this weekend were well covered and well protected. Thank you for PD, Laverne PD, and our other outside sources. They kept it safe, organized, and the people that were in the march were so appreciative, and they felt so protected. And that's the most important thing we have to do when we have our marches and things, to keep ourselves and our residents safe. So thank you, Chief Paz, and all your staff. And that, I adjourn at 7:18 p.m.
The next regular scheduled meeting is November 2nd.
There you go, 6:30 p.m. Thank you, Councilmember Davis. Everybody have a great Halloween.
I got your back.
I got you. Take care, guys. Thank you all.